month of May is known as Historic Preservation Month in the United States. And historic preservation is alive and well in Rochester Hills. Here in Stoney Creek Village, we're fortunate that we have an exceptional collection of historic homes, but we're even more fortunate that we have residents like Vinny and Lauren Sinacola who take care of buildings and live in buildings built in the 1830s. Vinny, what does it take to live and repair houses built in the 1830s?
You know, I would say it's no different than if you had a regular home, although unfortunately it is. You know, the maintenance that's required on it, although you're allowed to do general maintenance to your home, let's say that we have some windows that went bad and we want to replace the windows. Well, it's not as simple as you just call up a window company and say, hey, I need new windows. First, you have to get the window selection. You have to put in a document to the Historic Commission and say, hey, these are the windows we're replacing. This is what we want to replace. This is the color we want. Then you have to present it to the committee. And then from there, they either say, yes, we like it. It's within what the general neighborhood here. Fits the time period, and then you could put them in. Or they could say, no, it doesn't fit the time period, try again. Fortunately here for us with the Historic Commission is they've been really welcoming, and they want to talk through things, and they've helped. We can put stuff in meetings prior and just for a discussion topic, and they could say, yeah, we like what you're doing here, maybe tweak it a little bit with this. So we've been fortunate in that aspect, but that's the one thing about having these historic homes is if you want to do anything to it, you know, you got to go and ask if it's okay, at least on the outside. On the inside, it's a little different. It's a slightly different.
Are you able to buy everything from a local, retailer, or do you have to end up making a lot of things?
Well, so when we renovated the home here, I'd say 50% was stuff that we just built ourselves on a job site here. And then the windows, when we bought the home back in 2016, I think only 4 or 5 windows were actually salvageable, and the Historic Commission wanted us to keep them true wood, single pane, true divided light windows, which we couldn't find anywhere locally. We had to put a couple calls out, finally found a company up north that would get it done for us, and they ended up doing 15 windows, and it took about, I want to say, 4 months for them to get them to us.
And you had to deal with heating and ventilating issues, electrical, everything had to be redone in this house. This house had been abandoned for almost 20 years before you moved in.
Yeah, I was going to say, my wife, as you know, grew up in the Bertha Van Hoosen home just behind here. And since she moved in, I think it was 1992, with her family, it was vacant. And, she always looked at it when she was growing up saying, I would love to be right behind my mom and dad and live there. And so when we bought it, we had to we dug out the crawl space to put in new footers and posts because it wouldn't support the second story. We had to redo, I want to say, 99% of the interior, including all the floor joists upstairs and downstairs. And then, we ripped out all the electrical and redid all the plumbing.
And now you're raising a family of 4 kids in a 1830s farmhouse in Stoney Creek Village in Rochester Hills, Michigan.
Couldn't ask for anything better. We grew up in the area here. We left for work for a couple times, and when we came back here and saw that this house, we found out who owned it and put an offer in, and couldn't be any more grateful because we want to raise our kids here.
Yeah. We're fortunate in Rochester Hills that we have residents like Lauren and Vinny Sinacola who preserve the history. Historic preservation is alive and well in Rochester Hills, and it's because we have exceptional residents. Come to Stoney Creek Village and learn more about the history of Rochester Hills.